Okay guys, it is the third installment in our Qualtrics videos. So this is the point where I'm going to show you how to randomize people to either one condition or the other condition of your independent variable. So every time you're doing an experiment, you want to have that random assignment, and whether it's two different versions of a story or two different videos, whatever it is that you're trying to assign people to, what you'll need to do is make two different blocks in your survey and then create a randomizer that randomly assigns people to one block or the other. So I'm going to show you those two pieces today. Okay, so going back to what I've done so far, this is my practice project. I have an informed consent page. When people consent, they go on to my first study questions. And notice down here, instead of just making a new question, there's an option to add a block. So you can think of a block almost like a different page or a different tab. So I'm going to add a block, I think. Okay. And it's basically just the same thing I have up here, just starting over again, and it's considered like a new section. So I'm going to call this block condition 1. Just so I can keep track of it. And I'm going to make one single descriptive text. Now you could do whatever you need to put in here. You can make videos. It could be graphic. It could be a file. It could be anything. So I'm going to just say, this is my condition number 1, so that I can see it when it pops up. Okay, now I'm going to add a second block. I'm going to call this one condition 2. And I'm going to make a block note here. This just helps me to know that it worked right. This is my condition number 2. Okay, so now I've got blocks named condition 1 and condition 2. So what I'm going to do now is go up here to survey flow. Okay, so when I choose survey flow, now, oops, I already did this, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, so now I see the 3 blocks I have. My default question block, this is my informed consent page with my 2 first questions. I didn't give it a name, so that's why it says default. And then I have the 2 blocks I named, condition 1 and condition 2. So what I want to do is somewhere between here and when I want to introduce my conditions, I need to add a randomizer. So I'm going to hit add below, and then what I want to add is randomizer. So I click on randomizer, and the randomizer is going to say, well, what do you want to randomize? So I'm going to add the 2 elements I want to randomize down here, which is block 1 and block 2, or condition 1 and condition 2. So I'm going to say add new element. I want to add a block because I've already set up 2 blocks I want to randomly assign. And then it says, well, which block do you want? So since this is why I named them. Since I named it condition 1, I can find it really easily. So I say I want to show block condition 1. And then the next thing I have to do is add a second block, which is condition 2. So I want to add block, and I want to name the block condition 2. Okay, so now what I've told the survey to do is start with my consent and my first couple questions. Then, when people complete that, randomly assign them to either this or this. Okay, so the first thing it's doing here is it says, do you want me to randomly present both? I don't. I really only want people to get one or the other. So if you have a between subjects design, you want people to get one or the other. So I'm going to click this down to please just present one of these. Okay. All right. And then now I have these here. I don't need them down here. So what I'm going to do is delete them now that I've made them. And notice they'll stay up here. Now I'm just taking them out of the rest of the survey. Okay, so you know you've done things right when you've got your everything you want before randomization up here, and then randomizer, and then in the little subcategory, you have a little arrow to your first condition and a little arrow to your second condition. And then anything I would add here at the end, I would just put at the end, right? So I'm going to say that would be where you would put, like, if I had an end of survey, I'll just say add the end of survey here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit Save Flow. And we're going to go back to the preview feature, which is really helpful when you're trying to make sure everything's working. So this is why I typed in the text that said, this is my condition 1, this is my condition 2, because it wouldn't necessarily label the block when I'm viewing it as a participant. All right, so I'm starting with my consent form. I hit yes. And then I had a study question I had posted in here. So I'm just going to click through it. Okay, so it gave me condition 1. And then it ends my survey. Okay, now I'm going to just do it a couple more times and see if it seems like it's randomly giving me one or the other. So I'm going to just click through consent, blah, blah. And I got condition 2 this time. All right, so let's just try it one more time. And if you've done this 3 or 4 times and you kind of, don't get the same one every single time, see, I got condition 1 again, then it's probably working okay. So I'm going to do it one more time. Here, and I got condition 2. All right, so it seems like I'm going back and forth, and since it says it's doing it randomly, then we can just assume it is. I don't need to keep practicing it to see. So remember, with randomization, it's actually possible to get like 3 in a row that are condition 1. So just keep doing it until you know you've gotten condition 2 at the same time as well. Okay, so now I've got everything I need in here. The key is that anything after that, you just want to add additional blocks. That would be like your dependent variable. You would add that after the end of your conditions. Okay, so we'll end there for now, and we'll pick it up from there.